Good morning. I'm Chef Ricardo, and I'm going to talk to you today about stuff that goes on in the kitchen. So, sometimes when you're in the kitchen, a lot of things can happen, and it's something that's unintentional and it causes harm to someone. It's called an accident. Accidents happen all the time. It can be caused from slipping on the floor, leaving some unattended, or just bumping into someone with something hot or anything. There, and when there's a fire, it can fall into three classes: Class A, B, or C. A is usually dealing with things like wood, cloth, paper, regular combustibles. But B, it has to be a liquid like gas or oils, anything like that, or alcohol. And C is involved with electrical equipment. So it's some things as leaving something plugged in for too long, or anything just like that. But luckily for if there are any accidents or fires, all all food places supposed to have an emergency plan. An emergency plan is a plan that maps out and shows you what you're supposed to do in order shows you what to do if anything happens. Anything like a fire or someone comes in with a weapon or anything just like that. But if someone is hurt, all workplaces have first aid. And first aid can be anything such as a band-aid, alcohol pad, anything like that. All a first aid is any treatment that you get before professionals come. So the O the OSHA is the agency that they ensure that all workplaces have safety and make sure that the working conditions aren't dangerous. They just make sure that all workers are being treated correctly and safely. Make sure there aren't any hazards going on in the workplace. So, the proper way to use a knife is first it starts with whatever you're holding to cut. You have to hold it in a claw way, like hold it like this, because when you cutting like this, you don't want to hold it. I hear you cut your finger off. So you cut it, and as you get closer to your finger, the knife is going to hit this part of your hand. It's not going to cut it or chop off anything. It's going to hit it, and it's going to let you know that you need to hold it again, better again. Also, when you hand someone a knife, you have to you can't you can't hand it to them with the blade pointing towards them. You have to hold it upright, hold the base, hold it upright, and hand it to them like this. Get, you point the blade to them, not the you point the base to them and point the blade away because you don't want to cut anybody. Also, when you're working, things like things start to get on the floor. Someone might waste some on the floor, or the dishwater, the dish cleaner, he might be washing and water just get on the floor. So, thing when someone slips because of that, it's called slips and trips. Also, when you going up some stairs or you walking over something and you fall, it's called slips and trips. So when stuff is wet, people often they put down wet floor signs to indicate that. And when you're carrying things, they don't want you to carry something and you're going up or downstairs. It's just dangerous. Also, burns can happen anywhere. You have different degrees of burns that let you know how severely the how severely you have been burnt. Also, when you're using a fire extinguisher, first you have you have to use a process called PASS, PASS. You have first pull the pin that stands for P. You have to aim at the base of the fire, not the top, not the side, but the base of it, like towards the bottom in the middle. And then you have to squeeze the trigger to allow the stuff to come out. And then you sweep. You don't want to just aim it at one spot because that's the only spot that's gonna be put out. You have to sweep it like this.